Hello everyone. My name is Hunter, and this is a spoiler-free review of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And this movie is an amazing first half of a movie. Because if you don't know, this movie is part one of two. Um, and obviously it's going to end on a cliffhanger. And usually it's about 50-50 on whether I like cliffhangers or not. You have cases like Avengers Infinity War, where I really love that one, where it felt like that was a clear ending for a first part. And also, Thanos won, so you don't really know what's exactly going to happen next. Because, I mean, they lost. That story, the story that they've been doing the entire movie is over. And those are the kind of cliffhangers I really like. This one kind of just ends in the middle of the story. So it wouldn't be as disappointing if we didn't have to wait another year for the next one. You, I can't really take off very many points for having to wait that long for the next movie because that's not always going to be the case. Um, and plus, I need to at least judge this movie on its own. So I find the cliffhanger a little bit frustrating because it just ends in the middle, but you still kind of know what's going to happen in the end. Uh, to be fair, but don't get me wrong. I know I'm talking negative right here, but this is still an amazing movie. And probably my favorite part of this film is the animation and just the art style. Because if you've seen the first movie, you know it has a very unique art style, which frankly a lot of animation studios are copying nowadays, but it has a very unique art style. But this movie cranks it up to 10, especially in Miles' universe. All of these Spider Verses have different kinds of animation styles, and they all kind of clash together. And I would say about maybe 98% of the animation art styles clashing together works. 2% I would say kind of look a little bit weird. It's very rare for the animation styles to not look right together, but it does happen a few times in my opinion. But overall, I thought the animation, like the comic book style, looked amazing, and it's honestly unlike any movie I've seen before. Um, Now, I do think this movie probably could have been shortened a bit. There's a lot of action fight sequences I think went on a little bit too long, and I think the only thing that really kept me from getting bored with them was the animation style because the animation and the art style for all of that just looked amazing. It honestly kind of made the fights worth watching just because of the art style and animation alone. Like honestly, I think there's a good chance you probably could have fit both part one and part two in this 140-minute movie here because I think there's a lot that could have been just trimmed from this. But anyways, I want to talk about the characters now. So we have Gwen, Spider Gwen. She's great. I like her. She's honestly, my opinion hasn't changed about her since the first film. She's great. But Miles, I liked Miles in the first one, and then this one, I love Miles. He's such a great character. He's funny, he's charismatic. Honestly, I've always preferred Peter Parker over Miles, but now after this movie and seeing this character in action a bit more, honestly, I would put them on par with each other now. I love both of them equally. Peter Parker and Miles. They're great. I love them. And I think they did Miles wonderfully in this film here. So now let's talk more about the Spider Verse here. There are a lot of Spider-Men, and there are a lot of cameos because of that. It was in the trailers. There was a lot of cameos in the trailers, and it kind of gets a little bit too much because there are so many Spider-Man in this movie, and you see them constantly. Like you can play like a Where's Waldo game with your particular Spider-Man that you want to see because there are just so many different kinds. A lot of the Spider-Man were really cool to see. It's just those cameos. I guess Spider-Man No Way Home kind of it showed me what a cameo can be. There are a lot of different Spider-Man in this movie. So many cameos to the point where honestly I found myself getting kind of bored with it because there was just cameo after cameo after cameo to the point where I just kind of didn't care anymore. I mean, there's so many of them that it kind of turns into like a Where's Waldo game to find your favorite Spider-Man in this, which is kind of fun. It's just I felt like it took a little bit from the movie itself and the story with just seeing cameo after cameo. But all the Spider-Man were very interesting to look at. They all had very unique features and such. And I think if it wasn't for the fact they were shoving cameos down your throat at every moment, I probably like it a lot more. I mean, Spider-Man No Way Home kind of ruined it for me because now that movie showed what a cameo can do and it can be like part of the film. These cameos just kind of show up. I mean, they're just there. But speaking of Spider-Man, if you are wanting to see some of the Spider-Man from the first movie in this one, frankly, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. I think it's best to know beforehand because they are really not in it at all. They do make a presence in the film. They're hardly in it, and it's very disappointing. Like, and when I say hardly, I mean you can just take them out, and the movie would probably just be the same, which is kind of disappointing because I really like those characters, like Spider Ham and Spider Man Noir. It was kind of just disappointing to see that they just weren't utilized in this film. But that is the end of this review. So if I had to give this film a score from 0 to 100, I would give it an 85. And 85 is great. It's a really I think you should go see this movie. If you like the first one, if you like Spider-Man, this is a great film to see. I really recommend it. I loved it. There were just some things that I found a little there were just some things that I wasn't too particularly fond of from this film. But overall, I think it's a great film and I don't regret seeing it. So, without further ado, I thank you for watching and goodbye.